I'm Mike Wilbon. Tony, a swinger at a sex festival, had a minor heart attack.
I'm Tony Kornheiser. I faked it. I needed a breather.
Okay.
Would that were true.
Don't you think?
Would that I were young enough.
More heart attacks. Yeah, but these swingers, they're not young. They're not.
Really, they're not?
No, they're older people.
How do you know that? Do you take a survey of them? Do you know anything about them?
Sometimes
they're not my age.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Swinging. When did that start? Tell me.
70s, maybe.
So how old would they be now?
310. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Kawhi picks the Clippers. Paul George joins him, and the Thunder may move Russell Westbrook. But we begin today with the Women's World Cup triumph by the United States team. They talk the talk, and they walk the walk. They beat the Netherlands yesterday 2-0 to complete their defense of the World Cup title that they won in 2015. And as they were accepting the trophy in France, there were shouts from the crowd of, quote, equal pay, unquote, referring to the U.S. women's lawsuit to acquire that. Wilbon, do you think that the team will get equal pay?
Depends on from whom we're talking about. Depends on the source of that money. If it is the Federation, sure. They ought to have equal pay from the Federation. But let's be real about this. And there's going to be a lot today of overstatement about immediate legacy. This team is great and should be celebrated for being great.
Right.
Now, let's not the rest of the world go nuts and talk about the impact it's going to have and what they're going to get paid. Tony, the amount of money that comes in because of largely broadcast rights,
yes,
it is fractional in the case of women's soccer, even as great as this team is, to men's soccer, even if the team has nowhere near the success. We're talking about a difference of, listen to me, hundreds of millions of dollars, people. So there's not going to be equal pay at that level. As an employee from the Federation, yes, equal pay.
So
done.
All right, so we're both in agreement that any money the United States gives to its men's team and its women's team should be equal.
Yes.
For training, for travel,
yes,
for lodging, for anything like that. They got the rating of the Women's World Cup in America, which is what I care about,
huge
television ratings, was a 10.
Yeah.
Okay, that means it's higher than many World Series games, higher than many NBA Finals games. Not the last game, but the first four games. So as far as I'm concerned, they shouldn't get equal pay. They should get more pay. They outperformed the men. They outdrew the men. Now, I can't extend this to the Professional Soccer League because nobody goes to that.
You can't even extend it, Tony, to continued play in sort of the world.
No, here. I'm only talking about here, okay, which is where the television money counts.
We're talking about salary. That's what we're talking about. From American sources. But we're not talking about $400 million versus $30 million.
I watched the game.
I was flying,
okay,
but I watched every part of the aftermath.
I watched the game. I thought the first goal was cheap. In other words, I don't think you should call that penalty on the first goal.
You gotta call that penalty.
No, and that's why I was glad that the second goal was decisive. And so I said to myself, boom, they win. But the first goal made me uneasy in the second half of a game. Let it go.
This team is great. Is it as great as the team with Julie Foudy and?
It won the World Cup.
They won the World Cup too.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm just saying, you compare championship teams all the time.
I don't think you have to do that. It's a quadrennial event.
I want to.
It's a great event. Watching women's soccer was actually wonderful for me.
It was wonderful, but why can't we compare it to another great team? Yeah. We do it with the men. Equal pay. Why can't we have equal
more
discussion?
Pay. Again, more pay. They outperformed and they outrated the men.
Particularly relative to the American men. Sorry, guys. Tony, you know I'm just getting back from Las Vegas, Summer League.
Yeah, I know.
Where an earthquake was overshadowed by Kawhi Leonard and Paul George rumbling with their talents to Los Angeles. I should note to you personally, Tone, they're going to the Clippers, not as you and people of your ilk thought the Lakers. So Doc Rivers and the Clippers, after winning 48 games last year, will now add two of the best players in the league, two ball-hawking, high-scoring, end-to-end players who could make them favorites to win the championship. Tone, do you see the Clippers as being as good as most of us?
And I will get to that. But for people of my ilk, let me say that I never thought they were going to go to the Lakers.
You and Stephen A.
And I never thought they were going to the Lakers. And you sat here for months and said that Kawhi Leonard should stay in Toronto.
I didn't say should. I said
should.
I didn't say should.
You wanted him to. Come on.
I'm happy with him going to play for my man, Doc Rivers.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
I would have loved it if he stayed in Toronto.
Thank you very much. Now, are they the favorites? They added two great players. They added Kawhi Leonard, who is a two-time champion with different teams. And they added Paul George, who is not a champion at all. But as long as he doesn't have to take a last shot, then he shouldn't get exposed. He'll probably be fine. But I don't immediately discount the Lakers, who added Anthony. Look, LeBron James has somehow in the last 3 months, because he didn't make the playoffs, he has been devalued. He's going to be the point guard on that team. And he said he's going to be the point guard, which he should be, because he's always the point guard. So I wouldn't automatically, I wouldn't take away from the Lakers or Utah or Denver in the West.
You know what, Tony? If I look at regular season wins, I'm going to look at some teams like Utah and Denver, because they don't have to start over. I mean, the Clippers and Lakers to a degree, and we don't know if Paul George is going to be there for the first couple weeks of the season because he's had multiple, surgeries on both shoulders. So there's some issues there. But I think the Clippers are going to be great. Tony, defensively, when you can put Patrick Beverley out on the perimeter as far out now as he wants to go, and you put Kawhi Leonard and Paul George out there, that could be one of the great defensive teams of all time.
Can I ask you a question about Paul George?
Real quick, yes, but that's the best defensive twosome since Jordan and Pippen. I'm talking about Leonard.
Paul George said he was here for the rest of it in Oklahoma City. 1 year into a 4-year deal, he just said, all right, get me out of here.
Well, he didn't say,
get me out of here. This is the second big player who has walked away from Russell Westbrook. Second big player. Kevin Durant walked away from him.
So you're not talking about even guys who've been traded away,
no,
like James Harden.
Walked away from Russell Westbrook.
We're going to get to that.
The Athletic is reporting that Oklahoma City, now without Paul George, is receptive to the idea of trading away league MVP Russell Westbrook.
Bye-bye.
Wilbon, would the Thunder be wise to trade Westbrook?
Yeah, they got to trade him. It's not even about wise. They're getting more picks every moment. They just got another first-round pick from Denver today for Grant. Picks. Sam Presti has every confidence, as he should, that he knows how to use the draft and he knows how to develop players, his system. That's what they've done. They build the old-fashioned way because they're not getting free agents necessarily, although they traded for Paul George. They're not getting free agents to just roll out to OKC. So this is what they need to do. And Russell Westbrook by himself with just guys that you're building with who are going to be baby-faced guys, unaccomplished. I don't see Russell Westbrook needing to stay for that, and I'm sure they don't. I'm sure he does.
So my first instinct was to say, when I saw what happened with Paul George, my first instinct was to say, well, of course they have to trade Russell Westbrook. And I thought about it for a while. And the analogy I would make is to Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson took a team to the finals that was specifically constructed to be a group of supporting actors for him. Maybe Russell Westbrook, freed of the burden of having another great player around him. I'm not saying he can.
I see what you're saying.
But maybe they should keep him for that reason. He has been very loyal to them. Others have not been.
He's been ultimately loyal to them.
He has been very loyal.
He's been the ultimate loyal guy to a tiny
Everybody
market.
sort of thought he would want to go to Los Angeles ahead of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George.
And he didn't, because it's home to him.
Not.
I give him all
and I don't
credit.
even like him, and I'm supporting him.
I'll also give him credit for changing his ways last year. He became a guy who put his arm around people and said, we're going to play this way. And I'm not going to dribble the ball until there's 2 seconds left and you bail it out. No, Russell Westbrook evolved. And he has evolved the last couple of years while averaging a triple-double.
As a player.
But it's
not good in interviews.
Well, he can be that too. But Tony, you got teams out there that appear to be willing to be involved in this trade.
Where do you see him landing?
Well, there's, of course, a mention of Houston where he can
That's insane.
What do you think about this?
No, that's insane.
Harden.
Because James Harden left him and became him.
James Harden.
There's only one ball.
Miami, but it seems Miami would just be involved in a three-way where Chris Paul could go to Miami.
I don't know if this can happen. You know far more than I.
The Knicks?
No.
Who?
A team that could win right now if they got him.
Who?
Right now today. Milwaukee. Win right now if they got him.
Ooh, I like that. But you know what they should have done? They should have thought of that earlier before they let Malcolm Brogdon go, because he could have been the centerpiece of a trade bait.
But that's why Westbrook could walk right in.
He could.
Yeah.
All right, Tony. There was such a swirl of player movement that we need to recap. About 1/3 of the starters in the league changed teams, including 10 of the top 20 players. The view of this could be generational. Old guys like you and I are made dizzy. But the league's popularity among younger folks has never been greater, and more teams than ever think they have a real shot at serious contention. But, old man, we're having the discussion right now. So good thing or bad thing, all this movement in the NBA?
So is it a good thing? So I think in the short term, it's a good thing because it puts teams into play that were not in play last year. The Clippers, the Nets, even the Lakers were not in play last year. Long term, and when I say long term, I have to step back a second because I'm not sure there's a long term anymore in the NBA. I'm not sure that you aren't playing for right now. So the notion of trust the process, that may be gone right now.
Yeah.
That you are playing. When Paul George, 1 year into a 4-year deal, can say, trade me by midnight and have that accomplished, Mike, I'm not sure there's long term anymore. So in that sense, maybe it's good.
I know, Tony, I had to think about this too, because guys like us have loved seeing teams form, develop, mature in some cases.
And now they're all the University of Kentucky.
Well, that's right. And so that's right. The NBA is now maybe 2 and done.
That's right.
You're done. You're requesting a trade because your contract's almost
the
up.
downside is if you have a bad team, the Washington Wizards. I don't understand why anybody would pay $1 to see any of their games because they are hopeless in the coming year.
But you're not hopeless. You just said it. You're not hopeless because you can fix it.
Well, in this year.
If you got an owner here's what you have to have. An owner and a president of ops, a GM, who understand when to gamble. You've got to take big gambles. And some franchises will, be Sam Presti and be so confident and successful building the old-fashioned way.
And historically, that's not the way champions are built.
That's right.
We're seeing a revolution in the NBA because the players have all the power. And they are saying, I want to go play over there with him right now. And so you have to get on board with this. You have to. It's not a question of good or bad. There's such a sea change in the league.
Are you going to be involved?
Right now. Can you win right now?
They didn't want the long-term contracts for 6 and 7 years. And that gave you a chance to hold on to somebody. Yeah. They wanted shorter contracts. Boom. Guess what? Be careful what you ask for. The owners asked for that.
So we'll see.
It's fun right now, isn't it?
I don't know if it's fun. There's a lot of balls in the air in play right now. That's interesting. Let's take a break. But coming up are the Pelicans overprotecting Zion Williamson.
And has Coco Gauff proven that she is the future of women's tennis? Fun to me. I can't wait for the season already.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm not even an off-season guy in any sport. I can't wait.
Well, you are in this sport.
No, not
you went to Vegas to chat.
Well, that's conversational. My presence was recorded.
Television legend Tony Kornheiser. Thank you. Wilbon is here too. Let me get the first one.
Television legend. That's good.
That's what they say.
What'd you come up with that one?
That's what they say about me.
Okay.
Are you convinced that Coco Gauff is the next big star of women's tennis?
I think she's one of them. I mean, there are other people out there who are young stars, like Sloane Stephens, just to pick a name of somebody who's won a major tournament. And tennis is worldwide. We can't just focus on the U.S. It is great, and I root it like crazy for Coco Gauff. I find myself texting the words, "Are you watching Coco?" That's a new thing. It's awesome. But there have been young women out there who, Capriati, it was sort of mixed for her, right? It came in stages and you worry. But she seems so stable, Tony. She seems so calm and her parents are right there with her. I hope and like what she appears to be.
I don't think you can be convinced right now that she's the next big star. Alexander Stevenson, as a teenager, went to the semis at Wimbledon, and that was the high point of her career.
Yeah.
Chris Evert, as a teenager, went to the semis at Forest Hills, lost to Billie Jean King, and became one of the all-time greats. And Jennifer Capriati went to Wimbledon as a teenager, went to the semis there and had an up-and-down career. So if the question is, are you convinced? You can be hopeful. You can't be convinced yet.
Okay, maybe not. But the young women who have gone out early, and I mentioned Tracy Austin.
Sure.
I mean,
Steffi Graf.
Steffi. I'm believing I was now confining to Americans and perhaps the unique pressures that we are
Martina Hingis as a young player.
Martina Hingis, had
they
won
show
all her
early.
slams before she was 20.
They show early.
So this would be good.
It'd be great.
She's going to get bigger, stronger, and develop more weapons. It's so fun to watch her play right now. Are the Pelicans right to shut down Zion for the rest of Summer League?
They're totally right. He has nothing to prove in the Summer League. You do not want to risk. You don't want to risk his health playing against a bunch of players who are probably not going to be in the league.
Was so great.
He manhandled a couple of guys already, and he dunks. Look, here's the way I see him right now. It's exactly the way I saw him at Duke. I don't know how good he is. I don't know how good he's going to be.
Right.
I cannot take my eyes off him.
I know, and nobody else could either, because I was in that crowd that night with 20,000 people in the arena to watch a Summer League game.
Don't want to get him hurt.
He has plenty to prove. Like, can he hit a jump shot? We haven't seen that yet.
No, he has a shot.
He got a jump shot blocked by Mitchell Robinson.
So, again, we don't know how good he's going to be.
But I would shut him down. Tony, I was actually looking at – I missed the earthquake, by the way. Didn't feel it. Rachel and I were in a car. Didn't feel it. I got a phone call and it said from my son, Dad, is this your first earthquake? What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I noticed Zion.
Tremendous name drop to throw Rachel in there.
Rachel's big. Did
you have a car and driver? You did, didn't you?
But Rachel, I just bummed a ride. Zion, he
know.
bumped knees with that kid, and he had to be taken out of there.
Okay.
He was limping.
Right.
It worries the
Enough.
hell out of you when he
Enough.
gets a boo-boo.
Enough. Nothing matters except you and Rachel in the car. Do you have a problem with Jake Marisnick's slide?
Tony, I had a problem with it when I first saw the slide because people of a certain age like you and me, it reminded me way too much of
Pete Rose,
of Ray Fosse, of
That's
Pete
right.
Rose going to Ray Fosse.
Sure.
And this was it was every bit as violent, it was higher.
Yeah.
But it seems like, is it Marisnick? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah.
He was going to avoid him. You can see how he plants the left foot to go inside. No, but the catcher moves in for the throw, and then he tries to get back outside, and it's too late to do all that with your body. He tried to avoid the collision.
Mike, it's not a slide. He did not slide.
You don't have to slide. There's no rule that says you
did
got to
not slide. It becomes, at some point, if you don't slide, there are rules about this. If you don't try to slide, Adam Eaton had this great slide for the Nats the other day. If you don't slide, it becomes assault and battery. You just can't have it. You have rules like this. I understand he tried to avoid him, but he plowed him down.
Something.
That's what he did.
You know what's different? Pete Rose tried to plow Ray Fosse.
The guy has a concussion and a broken nose.
This stuff happens in sports.
There's a catcher from Pittsburgh, Cervelli.
He's gone now.
He quit because he had 6 concussions. He said, I can't take this anymore. Can't take it.
But I don't want to punish this guy for trying to avoid a collision. Come on now.
Slide. He initiated it. He didn't slide. He didn't.
Should baseball be pleased with the Reds' sleeveless look?
Baseball should be thrilled with this look. Look, they cut off their shirts. This is the way to go. This is an homage to Ted Kluszewski from almost 60 years ago when he was a great power hitter for Cincinnati. It's a long time. He was the guy. This is not a good look for me. It is a good look for Carrot Top. It is a good look for Regis Philbin. Yes, Regis Philbin, who has big arms. You know, and what about Yasiel Puig's arms?
Puig looks great.
Guns, baby, guns.
Puig is waiting for these unis to be the full uni of the Reds.
Great.
By the way, didn't Cleveland used to have these too? Don't I remember Hawk Harrelson rolling up the sleeves underneath as high as they could go? I think
he was the only guy on the team that did it. I think that's how that
might be true.
Yeah.
This is great. This is not the White Sox in those stupid shorts from 1970, whatever, 77. This is a great look, man.
Because now, instead of just giving you launch angle and exit velocity, they'll give you bicep size.
Here's the problem.
What?
1 run scored by the Cincinnati Reds.
It's not good.
As a guy of a fan of a team in the Central, I was happy with that result.
You got to hit him out. Enough email. Let's take one last break, but still to come. What did we learn from Team USA's loss to Mexico?
And should Tony's Knicks be worried about R.J. Barrett's Summer League start?
Well, only if you favor shooting.
Oh, well, how about that?
But you said Zion can't shoot either, right? You don't like the way he shoots.
No.
Okay.
He had an air ball and a block shot on jumpers.
That's not great.
See, in that league...
Barrett had air balls, right?
This ain't the ACC. They got...
Smirnoff has some really...